it is important. And we start this off by reminding the United States and the world that the man who is currently the President of the United States of America was convicted of 34 felonies and was already impeached twice for his actions during the last presidency. People like us at the Nothing News have been saying for the last several years that Donald Trump and his people, Miller and the rest of the Christian nationalists that are trying to destroy the democracy that the United States has fostered over the last several centuries, they hate anyone who doesn't look like them, and they think that only white people can lead the country. And to be more specific, they only want white men to lead. They think women should assume a position of subservience according to their view of the Bible and their own twisted view of a supposed natural order. The most important thing to recognize about them is that they are also immensely sad people who hate themselves and hate to see others as a result. Hate to see others happy as a result. And as a final reminder of where our country is at this moment, there is a measles outbreak in Texas that is larger than the entire population of transgender athletes in the NCAA, and the Trump admin is launching a civil suit against Maine for said athletes. The Republican Party has zero issues with Americans dying. Just look at Donald's reaction to the pandemic in 2020, where he was responsible for the deaths of over 1 million Americans. This is the Nothing News. My name is still Suaveh, and with me is the other host of the Transcendence podcast. To the below me, to Cisney, the streamer.
Bonjour. I'm here. I'm a little buzzed tonight. Maybe a lot buzzed tonight, but we here. I'll have commentary.
We all are. To my left, light.
Let like there's only one appropriate reaction to what is going on right now.
Oh, were I not to be born, so to see my country crumble. That was a bit of a quote that I stole from a Muslim chronicler who was talking about, you know, when Genghis Khan fucking wrecked his entire society.
Genghis?
That's how they say his name, Genghis.
Oh.
Is that really?
Yes, that is how to pronounce his name, Genghis Khan.
Battery low. Please charge.
It's so odd. It sounds so weird after hearing Genghis Khan your entire life.
They're both technically right, I think.
Yeah.
But they even in Mongolia they call him more Genghis Khan. So But how's everyone doing? Other than, you know, the looming collapse of our republic. Wait, no, it's not a republic anymore. It's just a republic. It's an empire. It's a theocratic monarchy masquerading as a republic, right?
An oligarchy masquerading as a fucking.
Yeah.
It's an oligarchic theocratic monarchy masquerading as a republic, and that's just fun.
Yeah. It's a great time. But other than that, how's everyone doing? Got any cool plans for the rest of this week? Did you do anything fun since last fucking Wednesday?
No, this week is clear.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just a business as usual kind of week.
You could say that.
Still unemployed. Trump is still putting out crazy ass orders.
You're one of those unemployed young men that Speaker Mike Johnson was talking about taking up our Medicaid. Wait, you probably don't even get Medicaid because you're fucking a young man.
I get the
You're
other
fucking
one.
a young man. Okay.
A hush down there.
I cannot stand you. You know, or if you are, you're getting the exact kind of Medicaid that you're supposed to be getting. You know,
yeah,
it's fucking crazy how that works. How they offer.
You know
these
that
things
other countries. You know, the funny thing is that the funny thing is that if we were living in any other country, all of us wouldn't pay for health insurance. Basically, Like this, I think this is like one of the only countries in the world, and I can't think of another one that's how like limited it is. That doesn't just like provide healthcare to their citizens.
The only other ones are
I'm sure I could go look.
countries like that just don't have healthcare systems like us.
Yeah,
What we would call third world countries, you know. But if it's
America is just a third world country
with a Gucci
That's
belt,
what we are. Yeah, we're a bunch of third world countries trying to pretend we're a first world country because we have enough military firepower to blow up the planet like 3 times over. And so we bully the rest of the world into treating us like a first world country. When in reality, we stopped being a first world country somewhere in the 1980s. We started the decline into a bunch of third world countries in the 90s and finished that in the 2000s. And we have been behind ever since. Yeah, maybe just keep the digital cat on screen. I feel like we need the digital cat right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Is that Izabi? Our favorite digital cat?
Yeah.
I do like Fizz. Fizz is very fun.
Hold on, there's another cat I can actually pick up. Give me a second.
She runs off.
I think her name is. I'm going to the cat. Should be. Not a.
So, how about we get into the litany of shit that happened in 1 week? There was a lot.
There was a whole lot of shit. What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the fact that our government doesn't want married women who change their names to vote? Wants to make it even harder for people to vote in this country. Trans people, yep. So the SAVE Act is what passed. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. But like that's it. The SAVE Act does it in a way that wasn't required before. Before, you needed one piece of identification that would, just be your fucking driver's license, and that would work. Because most people have a driver's license. We've already made it clear that making it require things like voter IDs, which we've found in the past, there are some groups that don't have specific IDs and stuff. Not because they're forced to have them, they just don't have them. So like they don't have them. Like they're not forced to have them, so they don't have them. Which voter IDs is one of those things, and I don't remember exactly when it was, but voter ID laws were found unconstitutional because they specifically went for voter IDs because a specific group did not have voter IDs. That was black people in low-income areas. It's the same thing here with a passport that is almost $200 and takes 6 months to get. At the least, it's like $150. It took 6 months for mine, or like 4.5. I don't remember exactly. They said it would take 6 months. Yeah. Yeah. But my express shipping was like an extra 90, and I wasn't that worried. I wasn't gonna pay a $290. It would have been $300 for the passport, and I wasn't gonna pay that for to save a month potentially. Nope. think Colorado is one of the cheaper ones. Arizona's around 200. It was like 190 or something, I think, and then plus the 90 made it nearly 300. I don't. It was something around there. I could go let. I don't. I'm not going to. I live here. Other states are different, but either way, you're still requiring people have either their birth certificate, which who the fuck has their original birth certificate or any birth certificate when they that has like who takes that anywhere? That's probably in storage somewhere if you have it, or it's with the state already. So like we're requiring things that are expensive and harder to get, instead of actually caring about election security. This is not a care a law that was passed to make our elections safer. It was made to make it easier for Republicans to win, because that's the only way Republicans win is less people vote. It's always been that way. It was Wisconsin. And it was much higher than that. They don't. They get what they want. It's crazy how it works. And there was that I did see. There was a graphic showed how many people, how many percentage of Americans voted for Trump, how many voted for Harris, and how many didn't vote at all, and how many voted for third party. 36. 36% of people didn't vote. It was like 31 and 32% for Kamala and Donald respectively. And then 1% for third party, whatever. Fucking I look at the third party people on in like Arizona, and I'm like, you're just a tech bro. So like you're a Republican. You're a libertarian, so you're a Republican. Yeah, I, we shouldn't have to, but one of the one of the Vermont Secretary of State here, Sarah Copeland Hansa, said it pushes women out of the democratic process, and it's not a coincidence. It's just part of a strategy to make voting harder and to sow distrust in our elections. Make the problem, fix this, like cause the problem, provide the solution, and now you're the good guy. That is the fascist playbook. And that's exactly what Donald has done since 2015, when that migrant caravan was coming. I don't know. It never. I live in Arizona. In Arizona, there's never been anything that happens at the border. Ever. You're on stolen land anyway. for a couple $1 million, Arizona's border would have been different. So yep.
Remains said that these two boys had been killed before their bodies had been ravaged by the train. And then they brought in another a state medical examiner that said they were so high on marijuana that they just passed out on the tracks for hours.
No.
And then got ran over in the middle of the night. And it's a huge conspiracy involving a whole bunch of people. I won't get into it because it's like a 2-hour-long discussion video. We can actually watch it after this. It's a good time.
I thought we were watching Adolescence after this.
Yeah, well, you also have to stream. But yeah, it's like one of those things. But and the reason behind it, the reason that they figured out what was happening is that a group of people were out in the woods that day along with these two boys. From witness testimony that was eventually like brought out years and years later, they were out there to receive a drug dead drop, essentially. That's what they were out there for. A plane coming in from Mexico to just drop off fucking illicit substances and distribute them. And it was a government official at the time who has since ascended the ranks into higher politics. Let's put it like that.
It's crazy how that works, huh?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the people who are actually the sources of these horrible fucking like substances that come into the U.S. from foreign areas. They're not doing it by like illegally having like people having like little fucking families cross the border or anything. They're doing it by like just with government oversight, essentially. Just corrupt the government officials just doing whatever the fuck that is, just allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
Because they get a take.
It's crazy how it works that way. Well, let's see here. Speaking of corrupt government officials, RFK Jr. says the U.S. is going to know the cause of the autism epidemic by September. It will no longer be big. There will be no bigger news conference than that. Oh, wait, no, this is Trump. There will be no bigger news conference than that, Trump said. If you can come up with that answer where you stop faking something, taking something, you stop eating something, or maybe it's a shot, but something's causing it. Sir, it's called...
Nothing.
It's called
It's
your fucking chromosomes.
Yeah. It's
Are
the
doing
same
to
exact thing that
get rid of
happened with... Yeah. It's the same exact thing that happened when this country stopped demonizing... when just the world in general stopped demonizing left-handedness. And stopped trying to correct it. You saw a giant, massive boom in left-handed people, and then it plateaued out and hasn't increased since. Now it's just on top of not demonizing autism, we actually have like a way to properly measure what autism actually is, like the spectrum that autism is.
Mm-hmm.
And so more and more people are realizing I exist on this spectrum, or in hindsight are realizing, people in my family exist on the spectrum. Maybe I should go get looked at. Turns out, hey, guess what? Brains are pretty weird.
Brains
A lot
are
weirder than we
very
thought.
strange. Brains
Because we
are
know
very
fucking almost
strange.
nothing about them. We almost know nothing about how the human brain actually works.
Eliminate the exposures. There was something he said about it this morning. He called it, I don't remember exactly what he called it. He just, the way they speak about autism, it makes you think that, like, you get autism from, like, just walking through a cloud, and all of a sudden all of
The
a
way
sudden
that
you're
they speak about
useless. Like, I don't,
autism is...
it's fucking just, like, it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. The way that they speak about autism is the way they spoke about AIDS back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly how it is.
It's
They're trying to create that same panic that for AIDS that AIDS had for autism. It's like, it's not an epidemic. It's not a new wave or anything. Hell, half the people probably sitting in that room probably have some form of bullshit.
actual people who study it, because anthropologists and stuff like that, and like biologists, they think there's a theory that autism fucking helped in our evolution and like helped us survive out in the wild. So like I don't understand why it's bad now all of a sudden. Very strange that now that we have a name for it, people are there are a certain segment of people who want to demonize it and eradicate it at their literal words.
Okay, so there's actually a really great analogy that I heard like once about it was for ADHD, but it technically applies here, right? So back in humanity's early days, everybody was hunters, right? That's how we lived. We lived as migratory hunter-gatherers, yeah?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The traits of, say, just for instance, ADHD, were very good. Like, we're very useful for that. You sit still, you pay attention to everything, and eventually you get the food. Like, you're very on the move, you go. And eventually, we discovered farming, which is the opposite, basically, like, almost the exact opposite of hunting, in a lot of ways. So then you had the hunters and you had the farmers. Eventually, the farmers gathered up all of the wealth and formed society. Society was then made for the farmers and has progressed in a way that is such as hunters have gotten less and less and less useful, they're becoming more and more and more basically turned into disabled people, quote unquote. When before, these people were vital to how society functioned.
Mm-hmm.
Because you couldn't get all your food from farming. Nowadays, society is so predicated on the idea of quote unquote farming or neurotypicalness that anything else is seen as a disability and a disease. The world was built by certain people, for certain people. And anything outside of that certain people is seen as not okay or not right, or you are sick.
I feel like I said that in the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, no, this is I was listening to him this morning. It's just like I didn't like it. I didn't like it. He makes me feel like why are you talking about this? You have no idea what you just said. Yep. Absolutely no idea. And immediately, I think we can go right into from one health debacle into another. The House has passed a budget that aims to cut Medicaid by a lot. And you know what Speaker Mike Johnson said?
Video games. Blaming video games.
Trying to pause the damn video, but Threads works weird on.
About cutting one. No one has talked about cutting one benefit in Medicaid to anyone who's duly owed. What we've talked about is returning work requirements. So, for example, you don't have able-bodied young men on a program that's designed for single mothers and the elderly and disabled. They're draining resources from people who are actually do that. So if you clean that up and shore it up, you save a lot of money and you return the dignity of work to young men who need to be out working instead of playing video games all day. We have a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse in Medicaid. Just one tiny example. The estimate is $51 billion a year in Medicaid is lost to fraud. That's unconscionable. We now have, with the DOGE efforts and with new algorithms and with new oversight responsibilities and opportunities, we have ability to carve that out. We have a responsibility to do it. That estimate by some people, some estimates say that is very low. It's actually much higher than that. So we're going to go through. No one has talked about cutting one benefit.
For him, it's interesting. When Ronald Reagan was president, he would talk about welfare queens. Women who would take more than, would just like live off of the system. I don't really care if that happens. Personally.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll pay taxes for someone who is not able to, doesn't have the time to, because, you know, they have kids and their husband passed away and the government doesn't care about, you know, what their actual situation. They're just going to demonize them anyway. I'm not going to, you know, demonize the young man who looks able-bodied, but, you know, can't walk very well sometimes.
Invisible illness.
Looks able-bodied, like invisible illnesses exist.
Hi.
I'm not gonna just like be mad. I'm gonna go, all right, cool. That's what my taxes are for. I get mad, however. I get mad, however, when there are people like Elon Musk who take billions of fucking dollars and don't do shit. Just keep it. Crash rockets. Buy fucking social media platforms so we can get closer to power in the United States of America. That's the shit I don't like.
Yeah, so that statement is like directly aimed at somebody like me who is currently looking for work. Like, and that's the thing, right? Like, that statement doesn't take into account the fact that a lot of these like able-bodied young men who are just sitting at home playing video games all day and leeching Medicaid, like, one,
aren't doing that.
as a human being, everyone is entitled to healthcare.
Crazy.
Like, everybody is entitled to just receiving healthcare. That's just a human right. Like, literally, I'm pretty sure if you go look up human rights as defined by, I believe it's the UN, that's one of the things that's on there. Like, that's a fucking human right that was agreed upon by the United Nations after World War II.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has the right to receive health care.
Everyone has the right to life and happiness.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not like a lot of us aren't like just sitting here doing nothing. It's like, yeah, I would prefer to be going to work and making some money so I could do life. Like, I could just have more life than I have now. But I mean, like, I've been rejected from fast food places. I've been rejected from gas stations. I just got rejected from a movie theater, dog. Like, there were, like, everybody says they're hiring.
Why are they all hiring on Indeed, but they're not actually hiring anybody?
Yeah, it's
ghost listings.
Yeah, ghost listings, because it looks good to the investors and it looks good to their board if they have a bunch of job applications out. So they can say, "Oh, we're growing." It's like, no, you're fucking not. You're not. You're not growing. You're just fucking being a dick. You're just gathering up people's fucking information who are desperately trying to find work so they can pay their bills, feed their families. You know, try and fucking survive this economic crash we're being forced to go through.
And don't forget, plenty of states are already criminalizing homelessness.
Yeah.
Mostly red states. I haven't seen any
like, I would,
quote unquote blue states.
You know what would be nice to criminalize? fake fucking job advertisement. You should not be able to have a job advertisement posted if you are not hiring for a position.
It's not filled within a certain amount of time. What's going on? Why you keep opening up job applications, but
hey,
your taxes don't say you're hiring anybody?
Yep.
What's up with that?
You should just be fine, and should keep fining you for every day that it's up.
Understand?
Be an exponential increase.
We've been working a skeleton crew basically. Our business is declining because I work in a fucking tourist area anyway. But like we've been working a skeleton crew for fucking years at this point. Basically every restaurant I've worked, they just don't want to pay people to do work, so they'll pay the bare minimum and get the bare minimum. That's how it works.
Yeah, when I worked for Murphy's, you might be familiar with them, Suaveh, but I know you aren't, Cisne.
Sounds familiar.
They're a gas station chain that used to be tied pretty heavily to Walmart. Like we operated on a crew of one manager, one shift lead, and 2 regular cashiers, basically. That was what we operated on. And that you want to know how long the location was open for?
Huh.
5 a.m. to 12:30 a.m.
Jesus
every day.
Christ.
Yeah, I would get there at 9. I would get there at like 8:30 after having walked for 2 miles. Take 30 minutes to like sit and rest, and then be on my feet from 9 to 6. 6:30 usually, because.
And then they wonder why like we're fucking tired.
Yeah, and guess what the pay was? Even after over a year of being there.
Back then, I'm guessing probably like $8.
No, $11.25.
Okay.
This was back in like 2022, dog.
Okay.
2020.
I'm thinking like fucking my first job. I worked at it was my favorite job. I worked at the Petrified Forest in Arizona. I was a trail maintenance.
Oh yeah, my first job paid me like $9 an hour.
$40 an hour. But when I got that first check of like $600 something, after working, my other job was fucking an umpire, and that would pay me like $200 every 2 weeks, and I thought I was living big off of $8.40 an hour. And
imagine if you could just go back. We could go back to the time where making $8.40 an hour was considered like really good.
That was above minimum wage. That was like just above minimum wage, I think, in Arizona at that point.
Yeah. So, Suave, I want to ask this question to you. In your head, is $15 an hour a good amount of money? Like, barring current economic factors. I'm talking about from your perspective, having grown up in the same time that I did, and assuming like the same kind of basic economic conditions. Does your brain look at $15 an hour from that standpoint? From how you grew up and say, oh, that's actually really good.
Nah, not anymore.
Yeah, did it used to though? Is what I mean.
Yeah, when it first went up to 15, I was like, this might do something. But right now, I'm like, with the fucking They're just. I'm
talking about like ignoring the current economic factors and the stuff that you've experienced since being as a part of the workforce.
If I would have got $15 an hour, from basically any other job other than serving, it would be fantastic. Before the pandemic.
And the reason I bring that up specifically is because in the era that like you and I grew up in, like in the 2000s and like early 2010s when we were kids, right? You heard someone was making $15 an hour, they were fucking living it, man.
Shit. Yeah.
Like they were doing great. Fast forward just 10 years later, like say we're talking about like early 2010s, fast forward 10 years later, and I'm making over $10 an hour, and like if I hadn't been in the situation I was with like some really good people, like basically letting me live where I was without paying them to live there, like I'd have been fucked.
If I didn't make tips and, work in a nice place, it wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
Would not be fun.
Like shit. I got a fucking raise like 3 months after after joining the job I was at in Connecticut, like the first job. But I couldn't live off of it because they were kept because their tactic was when they gave everybody raises, they hired a whole bunch of new people and cut the hours of the people who got raises who weren't full time because they were required to give everyone a raise of something. So if you weren't a full-time employee, they just cut you DAC. And they hired a whole bunch of new people expecting to fucking lose people. And I was pissed because I actually could, like, it was an easy job to get to. It was I got home late at night sometimes, sure, but like whatever. It's like
I hate the way fucking mainstream media still talks about video games.
yeah, somehow.
The Latin
been
Times wasn't the worst. Because obviously they're going from Mike Johnson, but like other things, they demonize it so bad. It's been more than that
30
for
years that video.
Some of them.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about in the way that they've. Yeah, minimum. It's been 30 years since like games have entered the era that they are now, right? With home console gaming.
Like PS1
home gaming
came out when PS1 came out.
I think like I want to say late
1994. It has been 31 years since the PlayStation 1 came out. It has been over 30 years.
Which I would argue is the modern era of gaming.
We got Resident Evil, and I was watching one of the. We can talk about video games later. I do want to talk about video games later because I want to talk about how people that damn woke list on Steam is rotting people's brains. Just woke the anti-wokeness in general. It's rotting people's brains. It doesn't make any sense. It's been 30 years of people demonizing video games for being violent, but not actually banning guns.
Which is fucking insane. Like, I get it, right? You can't, like, there's no way that you're going to ban firearms, but
you're not,
like,
I agree.
There has to be a way to regulate them better, so that way they don't end up in the hands of fucking crazy people.
You know, the 16-year-old that takes it, I don't remember if he was 15 or 16, but the fucking teenager that takes the gun from his parents, I don't even think that it was locked. That's why the parents went to jail. The fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
That's just, I'm baffled, man.
The right to bear arms.
Got the right to bear arms right here. Haven't worked out in a long time, chat. I'm not really worried about this stuff. The PS1 came out in 1994. That is disgusting.
Yeah, which is, not the PS1 was essentially the start of the modern era of gaming. And
that's two.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, she's gaming. She's gaming.
Yeah, she's gaming.
Sorry.
We can move on a bit to how Amazon, and I assume other retailers as well, have halted and canceled orders because of the tariffs on China.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Amazon. I don't care for Amazon much. They're the fucking billionaire. It's Jeff Bezos. I don't like him. He helped me publish a book though, so like, thanks, I guess. That's the only one you're ever gonna get though. That just, I don't.
Yeah, that's probably the only good thing about places like Amazon at this point, where it's like it's made it good. It's made it a lot easier for like independents to publish written works.
It's like Steam, even though it's mostly dominated by porn games, which is mostly what people want apparently.
But who gives a
shit? They give the option not to see it, which I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like I toggle it off just if I want to see all the crazy ridiculous shit that's on there. But like, if there's a game I actually care about, I'll just hear about it coming out.
Exactly.
Like, I don't go exploring on Steam for games. I just listen for when people say shit is popping off, and then I'll go check it out on my own time.
so true. Well,
Because people care too much about being early adopters of things
I do.
before it was cool.
I do.
Like,
Well,
hey, guess what? Nobody gives a damn.
There is one good thing that potentially is coming out of Signalgate so far. They're gonna actually, like, investigate Pete Hegseth, apparently.
Yeah.
For his role in it. The Pentagon Inspector General to investigate Pete Hegseth's role in Signal leak. The motherfucker, once again, is a news show host. Let's be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Not someone who should be anywhere near national security. The Pentagon top internal investigative office at the Pentagon announced Thursday that it would probe allegations that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth used the commercially available messaging app Signal to discuss classified information about a U.S. military strike in Yemen. They better hurry because they set it to fucking expire. The announcement came in about 10 days after the Atlantic revealed that its editor-in-chief was inadvertently added to a Signal group chat that included Hegseth, J.D. Vance, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. He was added by Mike Waltz, by the way. And other senior administration officials. So the Pentagon is gonna look into it.
I'm sure they are.
Which could be great. Could be great. Or it could be like most other things that happens in America. I don't
Where they
I
don't
hold out
really
hope,
give a shit.
but it's another sign that I don't know what it's gonna take for the people in power to actually just understand. And I don't know what it's gonna take for the MAGA supporters to get it either. The ones that are
like,
still supporting. I don't know what it will take for them to understand that
I'll put it like this.
This is just meant to hurt people. And I know they know
They're just
they know that. They know that.
Yeah, they know that, but they don't give a shit because it's not them. The only time that they cared was the boomers whose 401ks and retirements were hurt by the stock market plunge, and I don't even see them complaining anymore. Because Trump has basically gone back to attacking all the administration has gone back to attacking all the same people that they wanted harm against in the first place, to try and distract them from the fact of the stock market crash. Because that's what it was. It was basically a mini crash that happened.
It was.
I haven't looked at it.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at it in the last couple of days.
It was.
To check and see if it's like recovered anything.
I haven't looked either, but I don't have anything anyway, so like I don't care. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's like, who gives a shit?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like we don't have anything in the stock market anyway, so why do we give a damn about what happens to the stock market? Like, yeah, we already know everything's gonna get more expensive.
Like,
sure, big whoop.
You know what's like the saddest part about this? When I read The Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg wrote last week that Waltz added him to a Signal group chat. I think it was like 2 weeks ago at this point, because this is an older source from like the 9th or something, where Vance, Waltz, Hegseth.
I thought it was like a month ago.
It was. This specifically was like a month ago, but I think this came out like a week ago. This came out on the 3rd. Where Vance, Waltz, Hegseth, Marco Rubio, and John Ratcliffe, and Tulsi Gabbard and Susie Wiles discussed plans to strike Houthi militants in Yemen. It reminds me of like me adding you guys to the roll for the Empress of Darkness, premiering this Monday on the channel that you're watching this on right now. I don't know why I did it like that. D&D game, by the way, with these two idiots.
Suaveh's channel, not mine.
These two idiots, yeah, I mean, so it's a fair assessment.
It is going to be rather early. I guess not for some people. It's going to be 12:30.
I mean, you can always record it
Pacific
and put it
time.
online, so...
And I will be recording it and putting it on YouTube. Well, But like, it just reminds me of that. Like, I add you guys to the group, and I accidentally click someone else too. And it's like, but they're discussing fucking like ending people's lives, and not like playing a fucking tabletop role playing game.
I'm so lost right now with this conversation. I don't know why, Paul.
We're talking
I
about
don't
the
get the frame of
Pentagon
reference.
and Pete Hegseth and
Yeah.
the Signal group chat. That was
Yeah.
about the Houthis, you know,
Right. Yeah.
bombing
Okay.
them.
She can only focus on one thing at a time. Don't give her too much credit. Don't.
I'm trying.
It's just like,
It's okay. Your background gameplay is making us not so boring.
I'm watching the background gameplay a little too much, to be honest. It's just sad that my Discord server that you can join below has more security than the U.S. military.
Which is ironic considering all the safety briefs we had to do in the military.
Yeah,
Information security too. That's even worse because
Oh, we
that's
can-
information security isn't hard. You just don't fucking say shit.
Let's talk about information security, actually. There was a Doge whistleblower that says 10 gigabytes of data was stolen from the, let me see. Oh, no, I already have that one. I said it to you earlier and I didn't even, like, stutter. The labor watchdog, the federal labor watchdog, the National Labor Relations Board. They stole 10 gigabytes of data and sent it to Russia through Starlink.
Well, time to shoot the satellites out of the sky.
That's already done.
Shoot the rest of them.
It's already done.
It's like, it
Like,
doesn't matter at this point.
this
And
is a
keep in
whistleblower.
mind, for those of you who don't understand what that means, Doge has had access to basically every piece of information in the government for months now, like social
Months.
security numbers, the systems in place to pay federal workers. What is it? What else is like super relevant to this conversation?
This one would be like bank accounts because it's labor.
Yeah, bank
Relations
accounts
Board.
because it's
It would-
linked to the student loans.
anything
for that
that has
too.
to do with workers' rights to organize unions and join unions. That's part of the National Labor Relations Board.
Yeah, information on probably all unions and members and where to find them and what they do and shit. So yeah, lots of information that could have just gotten sent to our biggest enemy, our actual biggest enemy, because China is not it.
Crazy how that works, huh? Like I said last week, China doesn't care that much about they want to continue 5,000 years into the future. They're not worried about us. Russia wants us to fail actively because they want to be top dog. China just assumes they will be there forever, so bide our time, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. People have
they've got 5,000 years of history now to look back on.
There's been this theory floating around that just like how you had Pax Britannica in the 19th century and the American century and the 20th century, that the 21st century is more than likely going to be the Chinese century, given how fast and quickly they've exploded in growth, just like how Britain did during the age of their empire and America did last century with the massive growth of World War II.
And we all know that's a Latin term, by the way. Stems from who now? What was the original term, Light? Do you know it? In Latin?
For what? Pax Britannica?
No. Well, that's also Latin. But what was the original state that used that to describe their peace? Because that's what Pax means. It means peace. Pax Romanum. The Roman peace. That's like this is. There's nothing peaceful about conquered like empires that have been conquered. There's nothing peaceful about them. But there we are. 10 gigabytes of American workers' data. American workers' data. 10 gigabytes of it. Who knows what they're going to use that for? With all the labor,
Maybe
like the labor board members.
Another election.
I've already seen suggestions that Starlink was used to rig this election. So I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. I fucking hate conspiracy theories because one conspiracy theory is a slippery slope to fucking more. And they're all fucking stupid. But conspiracies between people are real. And conspiracies happen between, at max 3 of them. Most of the time. It's hard to keep a real conspiracy quiet between,
Yeah, massive. That's why everybody knows what happened to like JFK and MLK. People know what happened there because realistically, you can't get that many people on board with the same kind of lie, especially if it's done in the public.
It's like creationists saying that scientists across the entire world are lying when scientists across the world don't agree with each other on exactly everything. I'm literally anything,
I was like,
honestly.
Scientists can't agree on shit.
That's why peer review exists, so scientists can go, you know what? Yeah, I'll try this, and if it works, then I'll agree with you. If it doesn't, you got more work to do. But when like your base of your worldview is this conspiracy that was like that the world was created in 7 days by a man of magic in the sky, that just kind of makes it easier to go to the next conspiracy, which could be that like the government is fucking got Jewish space lasers or something. I don't know. Speaking of Marjorie Taylor Greene, she looks like what's his name from that movie, fucking Nicolas Cage from Windwalkers. I'll let you look that up. Where are we? We are going to not the PS.
Hell.
Well, we are in hell. We are going to talk about some sports. The Nazi lost in the UFC to Jean Silva.
Oh.
I now like Jean Silva.
Concerned.
I don't know anything about the UFC. They've always been very Nazi-like to me. So.
It's one of those moments where he's talking. Yeah, here. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, gotta love that.
There it is. Yeah.
My ping, my KBS are at like 2,000, and it's still like I hate this.
Yeah, it's only Discord because I'm looking at the stream and you're fine. Like your camera's a little slow, but other than that, it's fine.
My stream won't pick up when he cuts out.
That's very
even on his stream, it doesn't cut out for him. Like his Discord is what's unstable for him, and you need to sit down and figure out why one of these days.
Yeah.
Dig deep in those settings and figure out what the hell's going on with you. So who got messed up in the UFC?
I forgot his name even. That's how much I hate this. I hate Nazis and how much I don't watch the UFC. I know Jean Silva beat him. Bryce Mitchell was choked unconscious by John Silva in first fight since praising Adolf Hitler. And as usual, he has to come out and say like, I'm not a Nazi. I didn't mean it. But this is a guy. Anytime a fighter begins the fight, refusing to touch gloves, you can already just guess. You can guess what they're like around other people. You could say.
Yeah, it's just kind of disrespectful.
Just disrespectful. If I'm a coach. If one of my players at the end of the game didn't shake hands, there would be a serious talking to at the in the locker room. I'd be like, why didn't you do it? Well, that doesn't matter. Even if you lost, you still show good sportsmanship.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't
like if
matter
it's
that
not
you
if he's
ran.
like obviously not being a good guy, like if he's just not a good dude, like yeah, like there's
Like if he was like
legitimate
bullying you the
reason.
entire game, I expect you not to shake his hand, and I will support you to do that. But if they were good sports the entire game and you just lost, I'm not gonna fucking accept that shit. But also, I'm
There's
the
another
coach who-
high profile
I-
match.
Yeah,
I mean, let me go look up his name.
I'm the coach that would not let some other player bully someone on my team any way they act. I'd be the coach that gets kicked out of the game because of something. I almost was. Wouldn't be the first.
Yeah,
time.
there is a what is it called? There's a UFC guy, Patty Pimbelt, who's been getting some attention lately because he's doing really well, and you can tell by just some of the clips and the way that he reacts to people, like he has a love of the sport genuinely. Like he got announced a decision and the guy offered him essentially like a handshake. He shook his hand and then just like grabbed his hand and held it up like trying to celebrate his opponent. Like I don't like he won and he was just like yeah, like give it up for my mans.
Those are people I like. Those are the people I like. That's a good sport.
Yeah, and he was just like, I love what we're doing, and I'm happy. Thank you for having this fight with me. Like, I celebrate this man as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you can tell just by the way he fucking like talks, the way he jumps around, his energy, even after a fucking exhausting thing like UFC. Man loves what he does.
I couldn't even do that shit after a 400. It's one of those things. I highlighted what he said about Hitler. I'm not gonna say that shit. That's crazy. That's crazy to think you can say that shit. I think Dana White is also a reprehensible human being. Here's what Dana White said about it. I've heard a lot of dumb, ignorant shit in my day, but this one's probably the worst. And added, that's the problem with the internet and social media and owning the UFC. You provide a platform for a lot of dumb, ignorant people. Quote, unquote. He didn't say and owning the UFC. I added that. But he did say the rest of that. You own the UFC. You're the CEO. You fucking imbecile. You could make this guy not have a job. You could make, you could suspend him. You gave him a platform and let him fight a man of color.
Who beat his ass.
Rightfully so, which is the second time it's happened on Dana White's watch, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
If I had a nickel for every time it happened, I'd only have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's kind of fucked up that it happened twice. Damn it.
Very interesting. And the last one was my favorite because it was a black man beating a white supremacist. Beat his ass. It's fantastic.
Yeah, there you go.
But and the article calls out White for still putting Mitchell in the octagon. Mitchell later issued an apology and said he is definitely not a Nazi. That is things Nazis say, though. It's a great time. It's a great time. I love when Nazis get what's coming to them. And that's all I'm going to say about that. If you guys have anything else to say about Nazis getting what's coming to them.
X gonna give it to you.
Gonna give it to you. So, I believe we can shortly talk again about how the U.S. has deported 10 more alleged gang members. That's the most bullshit thing ever to say. To El Salvador. The U.S. has sent people to a concentration camp. They've sent 10 more human beings to a concentration camp.
And quite frankly, there's rumors that it's not a concentration camp.
It's a death camp.
Yeah, that it's a it's an extermination camp. Because as one person so brilliantly put it, when people keep getting sent to the prison, and the prison is never full, no matter how many people you send to it, they've got to be doing something with the people who are already there. And well,
Like,
pigs eat anything.
We don't even see bodies leave. Just pigs whenever they die by natural causes every couple of years. It's weird.
Right, natural causes. Totally.
Oh, it is natural causes. Pigs get old too.
No.
This is something that once again black people have been screaming about for years. It's been happening to black people in the United States since the day they brought us here. And now, by the way, because Donald Trump is refusing to acknowledge the Supreme Court and their 9-0 decision on requiring him to bring one of these men back, the Kilmar Abrego Garcia, requiring the Trump administration to bring him back. Trump says no. That means this can happen to anybody. Anybody can be shipped off to a prison in anywhere, in any country, with no due process now.
He's been ordered, I think, for a while to bring back a whole bunch of people to have them serve due process, and they're just like, no, not really. They have until, I think, the 25th. It was. I sent you guys the video on it actually earlier. They have until the 5th or the 23rd. It's one of those 2 dates to comply, but people are pretty sure they're not going to.
It's something. It's something. It is. We are in a transformative moment. That's all I can really say. I have absolutely no memory of what this is. I need to fucking go to the ACLU here. The House passed another bill. The one limiting courts' ability to rein in abuses of power. So the House wants to make sure the executive can't be stopped. The Republicans in the House. I don't believe any Democrats voted for it. Not this one, at least. There was another one, the SAVE Act, 4 Democrats voted for, which I expect nothing from certain Democrats in the House and Senate, so makes sense. The House of Representatives passed H.R. 1526, legislation that would constrain federal courts' ability to stop the executive branch from carrying out illegal and unconstitutional actions. Are we truly going back to the point where we're just having a king?
A dictator.
Yeah, let's say I don't even think it's a king, because at least the king has the best interests of his nation in mind, usually.
Nero was emperor. He didn't have the best interests of his nation in mind.
I did say usually, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Like, usually when we talk about monarchs, we talk about the fact that they have they at least are trying to make their country better. Dictators usually just want personal fucking power. And then you have the mad kings and emperors who just do crazy shit.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's very interesting how dictator comes from the Latin term meaning emergency ruler, basically. It was an emergency ruler that was supposed to give up power. And for most of Roman history they did. Until a certain guy named Caesar. Actually, no, it was a certain guy named Caius Marius, really, and then they had that whole first Civil War. Then they had this first, second, and third Servile Wars, and then they had the second Civil War with Caesar when he made himself and king, like fucking console for life. So yeah, we're there. We're like right before that console for life stage, guys. President Trump for life. You know, that's what they're gonna call him. It's only gonna be 4 years, but that's fine. Because he's an 80-year-old man who doesn't eat healthy at all. What are
They
you
called that
eating?
man 6'3" and like 200 something pounds.
And fucking New York called him, what was it, 5'10", 5'11", 285. The man is not 6'3". Fucking Justin Trudeau is 6'3".
Say, I'm like 6'1", and I still probably tower over Trump.
There's no way. We're in a dark
Like
place.
if you're 6'3" at that age, then you have been taking either A, immaculate care of yourself, or B, you were like
You were like 6'5".
5 to 8.
Yeah. You were a big dude throughout life, and Trump was not that big of a dude. You've seen that picture where he's laying in his skivvies almost on his bed. That is not a big dude. Trump admin cuts funding for the CVE. You know what that is? Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures Database. Something that cybersecurity professionals everywhere, all across the world, use. And it's very odd that that happened, and then the 10 gigabytes of data gets taken to Russia through Starlink. It's probably nothing. It's probably nothing. Probably not related. Let me go here to Forbes and put it in the chat and read a bit from it. Put that there. But Trump reinstated it. So he was going to cut the funding because they weren't going to renew it. And then they realized, actually, this is probably a bad thing, and we don't want this to lapse. So they then renewed it, which I don't think this is the first time this has happened under his 3 months. Wasn't there something else that was very similar where it was like, yeah, the fucking contract for this is gonna run out? Oh no, it was fucking TikTok, but I think there was something else too. I don't remember. But
I love how nobody talked about the TikTok ban on the 5th, by the way. Nobody talked about it because nobody thought it was going to happen.
Exactly. No, it's
like literally nobody fucking cared this time.
Exactly. No one did. So this was updated this morning. Originally, they had not made a deal to renew the contract with the non-profit organization, the not-for-profit organization that runs the database, MITRE. I don't know exactly what it stands for. But apparently early this morning or late last night or something, they renewed it. They figured it out, and we're good to go or something. I think that's just an interesting sign of this administration, that like they're willing potentially to let things lapse just enough to see like what the blowback may be. I think that is a genuine sign of the administration that they are both incompetent and malicious.
Yeah, pretty much.
I do not understand. Because from what I can tell, everything uses this. Everything uses this CVE program. Like everything cybersecurity. It's and that might also open up the possibility that having one funder for something like this is not the smartest thing. It might open up, that for for an option, or who knows what kind of conversation should happen. What else do we have? There's that. I talked about the Nazi getting his ass beat. The Trump admin. Oh yes, the Trump admin was going to have an exemption on electronics for their tariff ban, their tariffs. They walked that back. They're still gonna have an exemption for electronics. So the U.S. Customs and Border Protection claimed late on Friday that imported electronics such as smartphones, laptops, and more would be exempt from Trump's tariffs. President Donald Trump and White House officials walked back a Friday announcement that there would be tariff exemptions. In a Truth Social post on Sunday, Trump directly denied the announcement. Nobody is getting off the hook for the unfair trade balances and non-monetary tariff barriers that other countries have used against us, especially not China, which by far treats us the worst. There was no tariff exception announced on Friday, adding that Americans can look forward to more and better paying jobs.
I call bullshit.
When is that historically
Sorry.
happened after tariffs, Mr. Trump?
That was the funniest fucking thing I've heard all day. Oh my god.
I can't. Trump also said that the national security tariff investigations will be reviewing the whole electronics supply chain. And the whole electronic supply chain is in all fucking caps.
Yep. Well, good luck to anybody who wants to upgrade their computer this year, because that shit's probably about to double in price at least.
I don't have a choice. I've got parts I gotta replace in October. Because my computer won't upgrade.
Well, that's it for news.
Might
really.
swap to Linux.
There is one thing you didn't talk about
Which
when
one?
it comes to the administration.
Which one?
Trump v. Harvard.
Oh yeah, Trump and Harvard are duking it out.
Yeah, Harvard's basically said that they're not going to defund LGBT students. They're not gonna crack down on pro-Palestinian movements.
They saw it
And
happen
their
to
students
Columbia,
or teachers.
They don't.
Yep,
they
and
don't-
then
there's
which is
nothing
funny
to lose.
because the administration has also asked that they add in viewpoint diversity, which into their staff and students, which basically means that they just want more people who are MAGA in places like Harvard, which is the antithesis of what an educated person is. I'll be real with you. If you're educated,
You know what's honestly
don't
the
believe in this
craziest
shit.
thing about my education? I went to a Christian university, and that is where I fucking became an atheist. I was in a class called Christian Worldview.
man, isn't that funny?
And I was like, what the fuck do you mean Christian worldview? You mean you see your world, like people see their world entirely through the lens of that they are Christians? I don't even think my father does that because he's a black man first. My mom still doesn't do that. And she's a Christian, but like I don't. It's blew my mind and made me think that there was so much more in the world. And then I left that school, and I'm very happy I did, because it's very strange that a university doesn't have an anthropology program.
Yeah, well, that is pretty odd.
Just saying. And they never openly said that the Earth was 6,000 years old, but they did say that it was a theory. The teacher made fun of it but he said it was technically a theory. That was the first time I ever heard of young Earth creationists, and my life has never been the same. Thank you to Kent Hovind for being the dumbest person of all time. Oh my god.
Yeah. Harvard's lost over $2 billion in funding because of their stance, and like, I'm honestly impressed. I didn't expect that to happen. Not that they lost funding, that they would like stick by their decision so heavily that they would be willing to lose money and funding for it.
I think they'll make it up. They'll be okay. Harvard will make it.
Oh yeah, Harvard's been around longer than this country has. It'll be fine.
It's like Harvard will be all right. That's about it then for politics news and what happened in the United States this week.
So that's
yeah,
about as
Bernie
much
Sanders
as I
went to
can think
Coachella.
of.
I don't have much to say about it. I don't really care. Coachella is fucking people that can afford to go to Coachella.
Yeah, it's rich young people.
I don't care.
and old. Yeah, I mean, I get why he went. He wants to try and speak to an audience that doesn't like normally try and care. You know what I mean? Like he wanted to be put on a stage that he knew a bunch of people would be watching, so that way he could basically say like, "Hey, please help us do something about this because the world is fucked.
Yeah,
if we don't get our shit together."
There's I have no idea what direction this world is going in, but it's going in a bad one.
Scary ass direction.
It's not fun. But we can move on over to some video game news. Rogue, how's the weather in Tamriel?
Stoned. Pretty good at the moment in Westfield, though.
Nice. Oh yeah. The fantastic video game Baldur's Gate 3 has finally released their patch 8 for you single player, maybe multiplayer gamers if you're kind of freaky like me and Light are. It's gonna take like a week. It's gonna take like a week or more for us to actually play a game though.
Yeah, because we have to wait for all of yeah, that is the one like sad thing about having to wait for the patch 8.
The only one that's necessary right now would probably be fucking adjustable party limit and
yeah,
UI
like
mods.
that one. Yeah,
Other than
UI
that,
which
I could go
those
without-
shouldn't be super affected. I don't
They
think.
shouldn't be. I know some
But,
of them already
like-
got updated. I know.
Yeah,
I know,
like I'm gonna wait until this weekend probably to like get on and see what's good. Probably next. I mean, honestly, we could wait until next Monday or Tuesday even.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Just depends on when you're on. Yeah.
You can play it after D&D.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what we did usually.
Well,
Yeah, I do want to get to the end of the game.
I do too. I lost fucking the will once patch 8 was like a month away.
Yeah, now it's like
I hadn't played for a month until patch 8, like basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't touched it until patch 8 because it's like I want to play this game.
I want to, but I want to play a giant barbarian.
Yeah,
without having to have a mod. That kind of makes things weird.
What if we all played giant barbarians for a playthrough?
I mean, the game would be kind of be insane. I think we should all definitely play like the new subclasses.
I think we should definitely play the new subclasses.
Because I think Death Cleric is also going to be really interesting. I want to try out Blade Singer. I want to try out Hexblade.
We should do like a fucking short races. We play dwarves and fucking halflings and shit and gnomes.
Look, I would like to be a person. Thank you very much.
If you want to just piss off
You can play the dwarf.
whole party is halflings or gnomes.
I would like to play I would like to play a person. Thank you very
Play a
much.
dwarf.
Oh, Well, Stargate doesn't have issues with dwarves. It's gnomes and halflings. They don't count as people, apparently.
Don't tell,
Which is why I force a gnome to romance them.
Oh my god. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna make a bad joke. I'm not gonna make a bad joke. Woo! It was there. The bad
It was
joke
a
was right
barbarian
there.
playthrough.
Oh my god.
The gnome was a barbarian. Yep.
Something, what is this? A fucking... Never mind. But yeah, I want to play it, but I'll wait a bit. I'm not in a rush. Marvel Rivals had another patch. They released Emma Frost. Ooh, buddy. There's a lot of plot in that game. A whole lot of plot.
There's the whole.
Other than that, I want to talk about just for a moment, and then I can end my the podcast, and we can go, and I'll join Rogue on some ESO. But I want to talk about how anti-wokeness is making gamers stupider. Let's talk about how literally the inclusion of a female character in the character select screen is enough to make a game woke. That's it. Nothing else. Just that on a certain list on Steam. Just that. And Steam allows it to be there. Because, like, it's technically not hateful, but, like, it's weird. Like,
It's kind of hateful.
I don't even have words to say to that. Like,
What the hell?
I watched the
realistically, I just don't have words to say to it.
I watched the video. Let me go look at who it was by, because it was a good video. It was by TTBN Gaming. They're still making woke detector lists, and they still are making woke detector lists. It's like so many of the complaints are stuff that is just demonstrably stupid. They have several categories where it's like fucking forced diversity in 1999 cop setting, and there's a black female cop in 1999 setting. Sir, they're like female cop in 1999. Sir, that's just Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yep.
They didn't mention that in the first Resident Evil game. What they got mad about Resident Evil for, specifically Resident Evil 3, is that they changed what's her name's backstory and some of like the story of the game. Not that she was a cop though.
Oh, even his stream went out this time.
Oh no.
Oh wow, I'm at 0-0.
Good thing
Now
I'm
you can
still
hear
here,
back.
huh?
Good thing I'm recording. It's a great fucking thing, and I'm at
When you get me
6,000.
full audio from.
I'm at 6,000 kbs now. kbps. All this. What the fuck?
Yep, fuck you in particular. Teehee.
I definitely need to take a look at this thing. I don't know why it's so fucking spiky. Because I'm not even on my normal Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That might be
That's-
why.
It's probably just the computer's fucking jacked. Yeah. That's we're at gaming is gaming's fucked. Gamergate did irreparable damage to the
We're going
fucking
up to
world.
90.
Gamergate did irreparable damage to the world.
Nintendo's charging 90 for a game cartridge. To have it physically in your hands.
Don't even fucking remind me.
I'm
I
not
was
getting
thinking-
a Switch too. I'm fine with my regular Switch.
When they told me when they said what the price was, before they said what the price was, I was thinking about getting a Switch too. Not anymore. I don't care how much. I don't care how much. How cool the games look. I don't care.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I don't even play my current Switch enough to justify it. It's like,
I don't think I've touched mine in over a year. I got new
The fact that
controllers
you-
for it though.
It's like the fact that you want people to pay that much fucking money for basically what amounts to
A fucking disc. Is it even a disc
Yeah.
anymore? Like, is it not? What,
It's a
I don't even know what.
cartridge.
Yeah, it's a cartridge. Like, you want to pay
Thumbtack.
fucking $90 for a cartridge, bro? Like, for a fucking SD card? For a glorified SD card? I'll pay $90 for my damn 2 terabyte hard drive. Yes, I will pay $90 for that. That's worth it because that's got a use. I didn't even look at what they're doing for the digital games it's not going to have enough storage to have all the games you want anyway, so
No.
Yeah.
it'll be just like the
You're
fucking
gonna need to
Xbox
buy a
360
micro
with 4
SD.
gigabytes. Listen, that was a revolutionary console at the time. 360 with 4 gigabytes. That was what, a fucking $200 console?
Yeah, man. Because
That
games
was-
back then didn't used to be that much. Didn't used to need that much.
They didn't used to install on your hard drive back in the day. You remember when the only
Yeah.
thing you installed was on those little 8 megabyte fucking PS2 discs, the little PS2. They were this size. They were the size of my little fucking little cartridge. 8 megabytes. I was fitting 30, 40 games on each one.
Mm-hmm. But the graphics,
Let
the
me-
graphics are better now.
I'm gonna go search for the biggest game in my library. I believe it's Baldur's Gate, but I could be wrong. Size on disc. It is Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate is 144 fucking graphic. 144.
Yeah, it's big.
graphics. 144
It's a big boy.
gigabytes. Red
Yeah,
Dead
it's a big
2
boy.
is 119. I think fucking Modern Warfare 2019 is 90 gigabytes. These games are getting too damn big.
So if I actually go look at my games, so BG3 is 144.
Fucking South of Midnight's 82.
Destiny's 143.
Yeah, I assume. I
South
assume
of
that was,
Midnight's like 40 gigs. Are you
Monster
getting
Hunter
2
Wilds.
South of
Monster Hunter
Midnight?
Wilds, the
Oh,
biggest
I have an
the
update
biggest
for
game
it,
they've
that's
ever
probably why.
released. Yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds, the biggest Monster Hunter game they've ever released. Take a guess at how big that is.
119.
Not even fucking close. You're literally over double.
I'm
Or almost
over
double.
double.
Almost double, I said. I had to
It's
read
like
my
in the
words.
50s?
It's not even 70. It's not even 70, bro. It's
Why?
civ. It's 68 gigs for a game the size of
What the
Wilds.
fuck? And
Yeah.
and somehow, I don't know if anybody knows, the enhanced version of GTA 5 that recently came out, I think it was last year, is like 30 gigabytes smaller than the original version.
Monster
So-
Hunter World, the game that like their second biggest game, technically speaking, 51.
You want to know what's funny? The Elder Scrolls Skyrim, which used to be a big install, is 15 gigabytes.
Mm-hmm.
Remember in
Like
20
I understand why BG3 is so big.
Oh, I get
right?
why BG3 is so big. There's so much in there. I get it.
There's so much shit. Not to
makes
mention
me
all the
sad.
mods. Like,
Yeah. Oh, we have a lot of mods. Nah, I deleted most of mine, but
Yeah.
there might.
I
Still
mean,
be
I wouldn't have
something.
deleted them. I just you would just waited for an update, but you know,
It
it's
wouldn't.
just
It
me.
wouldn't launch the game unless I deleted them.
Oh, it wouldn't even launch the entire. Like
Yep.
it wouldn't
I had
turn
to
the
delete
game
all
on.
the. It wouldn't. It would just put me in an infinite loading screen.
Oh, that's terrifying.
So I had to delete all the mods. I just looked. I figured it was the mods because I've modded so many games. mods always
Yeah,
break games when there's an update. So I was like, I probably have to delete the mods. Let me check the fucking forums. People were like, yeah, delete your mods, put them in another folder or something, back them up. I'm like, I don't need to back up the mods. I'll find them again if I want them. Deleted them.
Yeah,
The game booted up. It works now. I can play the game if I wanted to with 4 followers or 3 followers and me.
Depression.
I just want 5, bro. 5 is the perfect D&D group size. 6 is honestly.
Well, realistically, no. 4 actually is because that's what the game is. That's what all of the game is designed for. Is 4 players.
Yes. Baldur's Gate, yes, you're right. It is 4, but
Yeah.
as a dungeon
The
master,
game is all the entire. Yeah, as a dungeon. Yeah, and it's also just easier to manage as a dungeon master for people. But the problem is that especially when you're playing online, 4 people is restrictive because unless you have like 4 decently talkative people,
1 person the entire game is gonna talk.
yeah.
Which is why I'm glad you
Realistically.
guys are in the game, and one of my other players talks a decent amount too, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, no, I try and like, I try and fill dead air.
Well, as a podcaster, I appreciate it. Dead air is the death of radio.
Pretty
And
much,
that's fucking crazy. Fallout 4 is 35 gigabytes. That's just
That's ridiculous.
That's
I'm thinking about going back to Fallout 4. I'm thinking about it.
Twitch,
A
don't.
game that I have over 1,000 hours in, but I'd be starting from scratch.
Hey,
It's funny
Keenan,
because my
fuck off.
What?
Yeah. Okay, there you go. I saw it.
Yeah, you gotta delete it on mine too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you gotta do that. I can't. I'm not on. I don't think I'm a mod on
Mine
yours.
is, though.
I got it. I got it.
It's not that. Look. I have no problem with you being a mod. It's me remembering to do it.
There you
That's
go. I
fine,
got
dear.
it.
That wasn't why I was saying anything. It
Don't worry. I got it. I got it.
it is sad. It is really sad. The fucking shit that's going on, and how the market is just fucking floundering in
It's the same fucking
mediocrity.
like bot basically too that comes around here.
Yeah, it's always the
Like
same. That's just how they
same
how they
service being advertised. I'm just like, God
That's
damn
just
it.
how they work. You get used to
Yeah.
it. You should see the ones on TikTok. They're fucking horrible.
But yeah, the bots like, hey, bot views. It's like, no, it's literally like against the TOS. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And TikTok is the easiest one to get views on. Fucking, I can go on TikTok, and if it's a decent night at least, I'll get like fucking 30 viewers just for a background about fucking white women.
Yup.
Oh, it's
I mean,
fucking
just have Emma
fantastic.
Frost.
Yeah, I don't even. Well, I talk about social. You know me, I'm a politics guy. I argue
Yeah.
with people. I was on that side.
No,
of
just
TikTok
have Emma
for a long
Frost as your
time.
fucking as your background.
True. Just have Emma Frost.
That's all you
and
need
be
to do.
like- Just be like, this is what white women should be more like. But y'all,
Look, NetEase knows what they're doing, okay?
Yeah, they absolutely.
NetEase
do.
knows what the fuck they're
They
doing.
absolutely do. If anybody ever sees my Discord,
And you know what? More power to them. Holy shit.
they get it. They get it, yo. They get it.
Yeah,
All right.
More power to those motherfuckers.
Did you guys have any more games or anything you wanted to talk about? I didn't have much else.
Not really.
I
Alrighty.
forgot what they announced.
Like I'm mostly good. Like not much has happened in the gaming space recently that is, interesting to me. Like it's mostly just kind of same old, same old. Oh, well, I guess I could talk about something that is kind of near and dear to my heart that makes me depressed.
Oh God.
And that's not well, yes, I could talk about that for hours. You know that. But marathon for old gamers is one of the first FPS games made by the old Bungie, the creators of Halo, the original creators of Halo, anyway. And the current reigns keepers of Destiny. And let's just say that they finally, after I think like 3 years of like basically dick teasing Marathon, really like have like put out a trailer of showing off gameplay, like alpha gameplay footage, have been allowing people to like get essentially codes to like test it. And quite frankly, it's just super depressing. Right, Bungie. But the reason why it's like so depressing is because you can not only see the fact that they've reused a lot of the animation work from Destiny, like one of the melees is clearly the Titan melee, the jump jet booster bullshit is obviously from the same class, but it's also just like you look at it I look at it as a Destiny player and say this is what is like taking away resources from what could be the greatest science fiction MMO of all time.
Friend, you're talking to an Overwatch player.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Who for 3 years
because yeah, Overwatch is pain. Don't get me started
got
on Overwatch.
nothing.
I love yeah.
We for 3
And then
years got
Overwatch 2.
nothing.
Yeah, Overwatch 2 came out and it was a huge disappointment.
To go
Well,
back to
like-
the same thing.
Yeah. But no,
I
it's
saw
just
the
like
Overwatch,
because
I'm not gonna
because
lie.
here's the thing, like Destiny has shown that it can like Bungie has shown that they have the capacity to make Destiny great. Like
They do.
their most recent expansion had me in a fucking vice grip. Like had a lot of people, and then they basically had a whole bunch of layoffs like right after it came out. Because like what the fuck? Why not? Sure. Like their QA team was down to like one person. That's why the game has been coming out busted and buggy for the last couple of months.
Well,
And it's like we really
of artistic like integrity for money for the
Yeah.
shareholders, because the shareholders
yeah,
are
because
like,
like
you did great,
'cause-
make us more money. And the
Yeah,
fucking
'cause here's
dev
the
team
thing.
is like, what do you
Yeah.
fucking mean make us more money? The game is out. We
yeah,
just
'cause-
keep
yeah,
doing
yeah,
what
yeah,
we're
yeah.
doing.
So
We'll make
here's the
money.
thing. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, man. So Marathon used to be a like PvE story-based shooter, right? Guess what it is now? Just take a guess.
It's fucking PvP, isn't it? It's a PvP fucking
Yeah, but just
arena
take a
shooter,
guess. Take
isn't
a guess. No,
it? Okay. That was my guess.
it's an extraction shooter.
Oh my god!
Like Tarkov, yeah. Hop it on the fucking bandwagon of fucking extraction shooters. Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals did follow the bandwagon of Overwatch. But they were the only ones that did it right. They're doing it better than Overwatch right now.
Yeah, because they realize that the game should be about fun.
Exactly. It should be about fun.
Like
And-
who gives a fuck about being competitive? Just make it fun to play.
Blizzard shot themselves in the foot so much by taking Overwatch and what they had with like the Apex series and all of the stuff in Korea and the fucking summer showdowns, the fucking like all of that stuff that was going on just organically. Blizzard said, actually no, we want to make sure we are making all the money, so we're going to make a global esports Overwatch league. And it lasted
And make it
for
the only
4
thing
years.
that Overwatch cares about.
Yep, and make it the only thing that Overwatch cares about. We're gonna try to have a pipeline system, so we're gonna have like lower leagues that'll feed into it, which was a great idea. You know what would have been great if they would have done that and not scrapped the Apex League that was already acting like a pipeline. Do you want to have a prestigious worldwide league? I don't know. You have Apex right there. Piggyback off of them. Don't tell them they can't do it. Let them run it. Give them the funds to actually run it. Something. Instead we got
Yeah.
4 years of mediocre Overwatch. No, it was a good Overwatch. I love Overwatch. It was always fun to watch. And now it's gone. Now we're back to mom and pop shop Overwatch. Mom and pop shop tournaments. Good job, Blizzard. Good job, Activision. I blame Activision more than anything because you're the parent company, Activision. Good job, Bobby Cody.
I don't know, man.
You're doing one of
Like
the best games of all
Overwatch to me
time.
is the king of wasted potential.
Do you
It could have been
understand
really good.
how many people like Overwatch was the one game where you could get all the cosmetics, and if you wanted to, you could spend money on it. You could just play the fucking game and get loot boxes just by playing the game. Didn't have a battle pass. Just had loot boxes. And I don't agree with loot boxes. Whatever. They're not a battle pass. I think Fortnite fucking saw what loot boxes were and was like, oh man, we could fucking do something like that but better. And that's why we have battle passes. But loot boxes would have been better for the longevity than over battle pass models. What could have been? What could have been if
Yeah,
we just didn't do
basically,
either of it and just, bought the game once?
Oh man, wouldn't that be amazing?
It is something.
Yeah, I will stand by it to this day that Fortnite has ruined gaming.
Oh yeah.
Fortnite, I think Fortnite in and of itself is actually a pretty good game,
Yeah.
like overall. But I don't think it was I don't think it was a good thing for gaming.
It broke the fucking market. It broke the way the market worked.
Yeah, because people
Introduce
saw
some
the
things.
insane success of it and just wanted to copy it, and they copied all of the worst things from it because it's all about making money.
Gotta love that. Well,
Yeah.
it is about time for us at the Transcendence podcast to help our gaming friend in their dailies. At least in some way.
My
I don't know how much I
dailies.
can help. But
I don't even know if I have dailies anymore, unless you're wanting to do Westworld stuff.
sure. I can do that. I will be back in a moment, stream. Enjoy a couple YouTube-friendly, Twitch-friendly, what is it? Creative Commons songs. We'll be back in a moment.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a